Good morning. My name is Marineuza Melo. I work for Embraer, Embraer Executive Jets in Le Bourget, France. And I'm here to share with you a little bit of project management. And I'm going to use as an example a project that we did there in France to review the Quantum implementation. After some years, we had more experience, and then we decided to review the process and review the whole implementation. So is that what I'm going to try to share with you guys today. So first of all, who I am. My graduation is electronic engineering, and I had a master in systems analysis in Brazil. I worked for Embraer for almost 16 years now. So I worked 8 years in Brazil, and I had the opportunity to come to the United States in 2007 for the first implementation of Quantum in our company. I was part of the team, the implementation team, and the implementation was in Embraer Aircraft Maintenance Services in Nashville. After that, I stayed there until 2009 as user support. Well, in 2009, I moved to France, still working for Embraer, and I'm there since as Quantum administrator at the Le Bourget Airport, at the service center at the Le Bourget Airport. And we have a program named P3E that is based on the Lean methodology, and we use this methodology to deal with the project review for Quantum. So what we did was basically review all the process, implement process that were not still in place, and we reinstalled the servers for some reason that I'm going to explain during my presentation. Now a little bit about Embraer. So Embraer is the largest aircraft manufacturer for executive jets up to 120 seats. And we are a great exporter in Brazil. And we have service centers and offices around the world. We have here in the United States, in Portugal, in France, Brazil, of course. The headquarters is in Brazil, in São José dos Campos, São Paulo State, around 100 kilometers from São Paulo. And we have three main business, or three business, that are commercial aircrafts, executive aircrafts, and defense. I work for the executive jets service center in Le Bourget. Le Bourget is very close to Paris, downtown, and is the busiest executive airport in France. So we are very well located to serve our customers in terms of maintenance. So, what I'm going to share with you with this session. During the project, there are lots of impacts that we really don't see, right? Impacts that we don't count on. Especially when we go extremely technically, we don't see impacts on the team that can highly affect the results of the project. We're going to talk about this. We are going to talk about a source of stress in project, that it's the adjustments. Any project has adjustments. And this can be a source of um, stress and can impact our deliverables, right? Little by little, the change we need to do during the project drive us to a path that probably, or in many cases, we don't deliver what we were supposed to. And commitment of the team, you know, that's very important for any project. And commitment means that people want to deliver things in the right time with good quality. We know, well, we have a huge company and we have problems with approving changes. Every time you have a change, you have to pass to a slow process of approval that people get worried about how long it's going to take to approve everything, right? So as project managers, it's our responsibility to treat all these things during the project to make people get committed, not stressed, not worried about change, accept that changes are going to happen, and it's not due to delay on approval, or it's not to any external problem that the project is going to be impacted, okay? Well, what we're going to cover, very, very important is the roadmap, right? Why? Because people, they want to know where we are, where we are in the project, right? Normally, the project manager and some people of the team, they have an idea, they know, they can see, so they are okay. But people that they are doing tasks, normally they want to know where we are. Are we good? Are we not good? And just the reports maybe are not enough for that, right? So starting with a good roadmap is very, very important for people in roles. It's important for people to really know what is expected from them, right? I know what I want to do. I know what I need to do. It's clear for me. I know which tasks I can do by myself, which tasks I need approval, and we need to use these people the best as we can. We know that it's very hard to have a project that you have enough resources to use with room. Normally we don't have any room. It's just the opposite. Normally the schedules are very aggressive. So we need to use people the best we can. To use people the best we can, we need them to know where where is the perimeter they can go, right? For these roles and responsibilities, they have to be very clear. And the decision process. Why? Because people, they want to deliver the product with the adjustments. And sometimes they depend on levels and levels and levels of decision process that prevents them to deliver on time. Well, there are many ways to describe or to update, change, and everything that is happening in the project, right? So we can go from a mess, just the project manager know what's happening, and we can go to something very simplified, too simplified maybe, right? But as years they pass, as projects we do, we create our own. Even following the main rules for project management, we create our own way to manage projects. I like this one here, right? Very simple, Even it's manual, no problem at all. You don't have to have the best tool in the world if you have the best tool, awesome. If you don't, you still do your project, right? Even if it's manually, it doesn't matter. Well, I like this one because we go from project requirements. It seems easy, it's not. It's really not easy to define project requirements. Project team, normally we have few people to do lots of things. And this goes to what is my weakness, where I'm strong on, my project is weak, where it's strong, what the organization, well, the whole thing that's gonna be the backbone of my project, right? Project control, as I told, it's not always that we have the best system to handle our project, but if we have a wall, we're going to do this way, right? But in an organized way, in a level that everyone in the project is comfortable what they are doing. Project adjustments, we know they are going to happen. Communication, very important to define who has to be communicated, who has to receive what kind of communication with the frequency, right? We start a project, we have someone who is paying for this project, so this person has to be informed at some level, and all the other stakeholders, and especially people that are working the project. And leadership, of course. Well, let me just see my notes here. Okay, so what I mean with all this is these are all tools to prevent stress, to help us to go faster, and everything. So this is the basic, right? And then when we started working there in Le Bourget, when I started work there, or when we decided to review the project, the most difficult thing for me at that point was to sensibilize people in how important it is to be methodic when you use an ERP. It's very, if you use an ERP for a long time, it's clear. But for people who enter in the company, maybe they don't have this background, maybe they never worked with an ERP before. So I tried to find a way to sensibilize people what is working with an ERP, what is the meaning of that. So I found a video that I want to share with you that I think that shows exactly what I wanted them to know, and I could not find the right words, okay? I think this movie is awesome. It explains exactly what is an ERP. Everyone knows what they should do, when, and they are trained for. Nothing but that, right? And go back to my presentation. And and what I tell them that when we work with Quantum, we are lucky because you can stop your motorcycle, you can go ask someone who knows better than you, or better than that, you can go to the documentation, you can go to your work instruction, you can learn how to do and come back and do it right, right? If you don't do that, you are gonna probably destroy many motorcycles. And for that, one thing that we did was to review all the process to be sure that everyone is trained, everyone knows what to do, knows how to do, and when to do. And if they don't know, they have documentation for that. Okay, so going ahead with this. Going now to the project Quantum Back to the Future. Well, why this name Back to the Future? It's because with the experience, we saw that reviewing the process and working a little bit in configuration and reviewing the work instructions after some years using Quantum already, we could do better. And we could go to some place that we should be already. That's why Back to the Future, right? And this was a project, a 6-month project. It was really aggressive in terms of schedule, but we did it. And I think it's one of the best projects I did in my life. I'm really proud of this. So what we did, first of all, the scope of the project was very well defined. So we were supposed to review some process. We are supposed to review some process. We were supposed to separate the test and training environment. We had test and training environment, but they were not configured in a way that was. It was not the best way to configure that. We did that. We reinstalled the servers. So it was really a big project. We had very clear the project deliverables. Everyone knew exactly what the project deliverables were. It basically was to review everything, to have all the documentation and everything tested. This gave us the opportunity to create one thing that is very important that we use still today is a scenario for testing new versions that we can use almost for any new version. We have the scenario, we have who is supposed to do what are the main activities we should test, the results we should obtain, so we can test very easily, and this is product of this project. We had criteria for accepting the project. I'm going to show you the roadmap. We had gates, and the gates, we had criteria to accept going or not for the next gate. So, or for the next phase. So, if all the main activities were if they were 100%, they were accepted, of course, and we could go to the next level. Between 75 and 99%, we were supposed to create an action plan that was supposed to be executed in 2 weeks and re-evaluated in 2 weeks. And under 74%, we could not go to another phase, right? Very important. We are always concerned about what I'm going to do in my project, But it's very important to say what I'm not going to do in my project. Because you start a project, you have a schedule, you have everything planned, and someone comes, oh, since you are doing this, could you do that? And since you're doing that, could you do that? And so your project's growing, nobody sees that it's growing. You don't deliver on time, and it's a frustration for everyone. So it's very important to be clear, not just what I'm gonna do, but it's important too to be clear what I'm not gonna do. So we are supposed to test all the forms and reports used in our process, just the standard ones. Developments were not part of this project. We could do in another project, but not in this schedule, with this team. And we were not supposed to implement other quantum modules, right? It was very clear what we should do. We had some assumptions, of course. The go live was, we did a reverse schedule. We had a due date for the go live. Well, we used let's say the classic way of implementation for ERP with end users, key users, project process owners, and a steering committee. I'm gonna go after that in a little bit. We had some other projects to go in at the same time. And at Embraer, we, at least in France, we use still SAP and Quantum. So it's a little bit, we have sometimes to play both sides. And one thing that is very important too in any project is project definitions. Vocabulary is very, very important. Many times you talk about something, the person has another thing in head, especially when a group that you don't know, the project team you don't know, you are not used to work with them yet. Very, very important to align vocabulary before starting the project. Well, of course, some corrections are done during the process, during the project, but it's important to have this, if possible, before. Well, this was our roadmap. So we had here the milestones. I had 1 month to plan the project, and then we had all the gates, the deliverables, what we were supposed to work on. And then we had here the process part, the training part, technical activities that were supposed to go with the project, and other projects in parallel. So what we did, we divided all the process in small pieces, and we worked in each process at once, not everything at the same time. Because the team normally is the same, right? I had the same guy working, the same key user for maintenance, execution, and closing. I had another key user for billing and invoice and quoting, and another one for materials, logistics, and material procurement and logistics. This process here, of course, goes with all the others. That's why it's longer, right? And for training purposes, we decided to do the train, to start training people as the process were being available. So we started training the people. We didn't leave everything to the end. We started training people during the project. So as soon as we finished the one process definition and all the documentation, we started to train people. So they had time to, we had time to see, listen to people, to understand if the documentation was good, if it was if they could understand well, if they could do by themselves and everything. And well, these were technical activities that we needed to do at the same time, and some projects that went at the same time too. And so we could do the go live in February 2014 as we didn't stop Quantum during this time, right? It was in parallel, of course, with the activity. So what was very, very important for us, roles and responsibilities. It's very important to everyone to know what they should do in the project. So for the end users, of course, following the instructions, alert the key users for inconsistency in the deliverables. Well, every day the deliverable is this one, and one day it's different, so red flag. And take the sessions, the training sessions, very, very important, convince them to really take seriously the training. Key users. Well, they are responsible for the reliability of the procedures. Keep the SOP updated, consistent of the deliverables. And I don't know if the person who made a question yesterday is here, but somebody asked it yesterday, how do you keep your guys trained? I guess, yeah. So we did in such a way that the key user is responsible to train the new, not just the new employees, but they are responsible to keep, to be a reference for their colleagues. If someone has a question, he goes first to the key user. If the key user doesn't have the answer, so this goes to other levels, right? Process owners, they are responsible for the business process consistency, right? If something operational is going on, the key user can take care. But if it's something regarding to the process, the whole process, it's the process owner. And then at the end, the steering committee that is composed by the high management level of the company, and they decide about everything that can potentially affect the business unit process. How this structure here cover all the items that I told you before, the concerns we have when we start a project. Well, the decision is taken, it's very fast. First of all, when we created this structure, we decided to keep this structure after the project. So this structure was not created just for the project. It keeps going, and this provide us more information about the process. People are more involved, and we keep everything aligned to the objective. We kept aligned with the objectives of the project, and now we keep aligned with the objectives of the business unit. So we have twice a month, we have the key users meeting. Even if we have nothing to discuss, the meeting is there. It's 5 minutes if we don't have anything to discuss. And anything that is going on that they need to negotiate, that they need the other process to change, they negotiate, right? We have one process owners meeting is the same. We have the meeting defined in advance. So if we don't have anything to discuss, no problem, just 5 minutes. But they are there if the key users do not agree with something that should be changed in the process. And in the last point is, if the process owners do not agree to, it goes to a steering committee, and it's decided there, at a high level. So it's very fast. We don't have things that keeps going and coming, and nobody knows when it's going to be decided, right? There are levels. If one level does not agree, we go to the other, and we go to the other very fast. And I work as a support to this team with integration of Quantum, a little bit of project management, improvement, support to the users, and everything. And here, I'm not going to go after all these details with you, but in the presentation you can find all the details regarding who is going to do what, why they're going to do, when, and how. These, for those who support end users, is very, very important. This, with the work instructions, very important, because the user calls you, he has a problem, and he doesn't know really how to explain for you, and he is like this, and so the first thing I ask him is, are you trained for that? Yes. Which work instruction you were using, and where is the problem? Because going backwards, doing reverse engineering to find out where the problem happened, it's very, very difficult. So this is very useful. They are very aware in what is the responsibility and what they are supposed to do. And with the work instructions, a very good key to understand what the problem, what is the problem the user is having. Okay. Well, this information is just information that I got from this project. So the presentation is going to be available in the website of the Q Group. And you are more than welcome to email me if you need any further information. I know that what is presented here probably is, everybody knows this, but we know pieces. What I try to do is put everything together, or the most important things together, and to help you in your future projects. So, do you have any question? No? It's okay? Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.